Hari Bol. I think that's better. I warmly welcome everybody for this very, very important event in our lives. And I'm saying our lives because each one of us here are connected to Pratik in some way or the other, either from our childhoods or eventually down his journey of life. And so this is actually our event together. And I'm so happy to see all of you today here. I would like to welcome all of you with saying that निगाहें मुंतज़िर रहती थी जिसकी एक मुद्दत से, निगाहें मुंतज़िर रहती थी जिसकी एक मुद्दत से, दिखाया वह समा भगवान ने अपनी इनायत से, ज़रा तकलीफ़ तो हुई होगी आप सबको आने जाने से. प्रतीक ने हम सबको चौपाटी तक लेके आया, तो तकलीफ़ तो हुई होगी आप सबको आने जाने से, मगर इज़्ज़त हमारी बढ़ गई आप सबके तशरीफ़ लाने से. So welcome everybody to this very important event of celebration of this 30-something boy who's written such a wonderful book on Hinduism. Before we start with today's program, anything cannot go without prayers and without blessings from the Lord. And therefore, we would like to do Deep Pragatya. I would like to call Pratik, his better half Anuradha, Bharat Desai and Preeti Desai, his parents, to come on stage, and Dilip Bhai and Varsha Mami to come on stage to do the Deep Pragatya. Come in. All of us. Shubham karotu kalyanam arogyam dhana sampadam Shatru buddhi vinashaya Deepa jyotir namostute Deepa jyoti parabrahma Deepa jyotir janardanaha Deepo me haratu papam Deepa jyotir namostute Deepa jyotir namostute Om asito ma सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय ॐ शांति शांति शांति. I would request Pratik, Anuradha, Bharat Mama and Priti Mami to please come on stage and be here for the rest of the program. I would like to now invite my mom, Anila Vain, to sing some prayers for us, and simultaneously my bhabhi Kinnari to sing a prayer about Mangal Deep.
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. ओम शांति शांति शांति.
मैं मंगल दीप जलाऊं, मैं तेरा ध्यान धराऊं. मैं मंगल दीप जलाऊं, मैं तेरा ध्यान धराऊं. कुछ ऐसा कर दे कान्हा, राधा जैसी बन जाऊं. कुछ ऐसा कर दे कान्हा, राधा जैसी बन जाऊं. मीरा सी लगन लगा दे, भक्ति के पथ पर ला दे. मीरा सी लगन लगा दे, भक्ति के पथ पर ला दे. तू प्रेम का सागर बन जा, तेरी लहर में मैं खो जाऊं. मैं मंगल दीप जलाऊं, मैं तेरा ध्यान धराऊं. कुछ ऐसा कर दे कान्हा, राधा जैसी बन जाऊं. वरदान मिले जो तेरा, मिट जाए घोर अंधेरा. वरदान मिले जो तेरा, मिट जाए घोर अंधेरा. चरणों में तेरे मैं बैठूं, तेरी जोत में मैं खो जाऊं. मैं मंगल दीप जलाऊं, मैं तेरा ध्यान धराऊं. कुछ ऐसा कर दे कान्हा, राधा जैसी बन जाऊं, कुछ ऐसा कर दे कान्हा, राधा जैसी बन जाऊं, राधा जैसी बन जाऊं.
That was an extremely beautiful rendition. And Radha का स्वागत गोपी करेगी. So गोपी वर्षा देसाई से मैं निवेदन करूंगी कि राधा का अभिवादन किया जाए. Thank you. Thank you for being a part. So this brings us again to the start of today's program after seeking the blessings of the Lord. And I would like to start with a very filmy style because we knew Pratik like that. So it's like Pratik Desai, naam to suna hoga. I'm sure a lot of us who know Pratik since our childhood can relate Pratik with those open arms, like a Shah Rukh Khan, okay? And Pratik Desai, naam to suna hoga. So this is how Pratik has been for all of us since childhood. And his metamorphosis from Pratik Desai to Prem Ras Das is what this book is all about. And that is what we are celebrating today. And this 30-something who looks like a teenager even now has actually brought in so much of knowledge, and he has actually filled in so much of knowledge in this book that it is going to really enlighten us for a very, very long time to come. In today's current times, when we talk about Hinduism, we see a lot of WhatsApp forwards which talk about be a Hindu. It's as good as saying be a man. So you must have come across so many such forwards in today's current time saying be a Hindu, be a Hindu. You must do this. You must not let Hinduism die, right? So is that what Hinduism is all about? To be able to stand somewhere on the middle of the roads, chest thumping, screeching from the top of terrace or rooftops, etc.? No, that is not. Here those jingoism goes down, and here this boy has actually decided that superficial scratches are not my cup of tea. He has bothered to dive deep into the ocean of Vedantic knowledge through all his years of being in Sangat or in Satsang with ISKCON. And he has actually dived deep, like how a गोताखोर जैसे ओशन में डुबकी मार के पर्ल्स निकाल के हमारे हाथ में देता है. सो प्रतीक ने इस जर्नी में एक गोताखोर की भूमिका निभाई है, जिसमें उसने वेदांत या नॉलेज या ट्रुथ या सनातन धर्म के सागर में गोते खा के, डुबकियाँ लगा के, मोतियाँ चुन चुन के इस बुक के स्वरूप में वो हमारे सामने लाया है. विच इज़ अ वेरी वेरी बिग थिंग. क्योंकि हमारे लिए अगर हम किसी को पूछे कोई भी फॉर्म भरना हो तो कोई भी फॉर्म भरेंगे तो उसमें बहुत ईजिली आता है नेशनलिटी इंडियन, रिलीजन हिंदू. बट व्हाट डज हिंदुइज्म मीन टू ऑल ऑफ अस, right? So we never actually give it such a deep thought. And if a lot of us here are Gujaratis, and for us nowadays, a lot of times you would say that dharma or Hinduism is like Sagvadyo dharma. Thai to karvanu ne tar kai vandho ne. So from that Sagvadyo dharma, Pratik has actually taught us what Sanatan dharma is all about in this book. And that is what is the beauty of this book. And he has brought it up in the format of simple FAQs, that is frequently asked questions, systematic format of what Vedantic knowledge. जब हम younger generation को Vedantic knowledge के अंदर ले जाने की कोशिश करते हैं तो जो हिंदुइज्म बहुत बरसों पुराना, as old as the mountains है, वो हमारे करीब लाने के लिए डरते हैं बच्चे. उनको लगता है कि नहीं नहीं ये we will do it at some other stage in our life. जब हम बड़े हो जाएंगे, जब हमारे बाल सफ़ेद हो जाएंगे, तब जाके ये सीखेंगे. बट प्रतीक ने अपने जीवन के कुछ कुछ ऐसे क्षण जो आए, उनमें से शक्ति ढूंढ के, परमात्मा के प्रति भक्ति ढूंढ के, उसमें से एक नया रास्ता अपने लिए बनाया. एंड वो बहुत बड़े क्रेडिट की बात है. सो अ लॉट ऑफ अस हियर नो हाउ हिज जर्नी हैज़ बीन शेप्ड थ्रू ISKCON, through God's hands actually, I would say. So from the time that he went to an Ivy League university, Duke's, Duke University in the US for his further studies, where he did not get along. He wasn't able to cope up through the academic challenges. He wasn't probably able to take through the stress of the culture shock, and he came back. People might have looked at that as a failure. But this was a boy who did not want to look at it as a failure, and he took that failure as a stepping stone to success. And the milestones that he saw on the way could have been anything. For a child or a young boy who could be at a very, very impressionable age, being in US, he could have gone any direction. But he chose to go in God's direction. He chose ISKCON. He chose the path of God and decided to get hold of his life. He decided that क्या है जो मुझे ये failure, success, ये सब के बीच में इतने गोथे खिला रहा है. And he decided to find the right way out. So from his journey from Duke University to the University of Florida, from where he finally again graduated, that itself is a very big story in itself. How many people can actually go back and do what they had left halfway and come back successful and be a very successful businessman in today's world? So this is a very, very big accomplishment in Pratik's life, and for all of us to witness. For children of if I have my children, I would like them to know this kind of a journey, जिसमें से उसने failure में से कैसे success निकाला. और मैंने रिसेंटली एक स्टोरी सुनी थी अबाउट सैल्मन रन. सैल्मन करके एक फ़िश है जिसका माइग्रेशन जो है वो सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग और मिस्टीरियस है. सैल्मन नाम की फ़िश जो है जब पैदा होती है किसी एस्चुअरी पे, वहाँ से तैर के इट कम्स बैक इनटू द ओशन. नाउ एज द शिप ग्रोज, मैच्योर्स, द शिप गोज बैक अगेंस्ट द करंट अपस्ट्रीम, swim करते करते against all obstacles, against predators etc, to go back to the origin जहाँ पे वो पैदा हुई थी. तो अपने roots तक जाने के लिए ये जो उल्टी दिशा में जब आप against the currents जाते हो, तो how much you mature as an individual is something that I'm sure Pratik has experienced in his journey, and this book is probably a very small measure of what he has actually gained. And I'm very happy that you have actually been able to give this book as a prasad to the wider audience, because that is what is needed. And you have decided to spread Sanatan Dharma through the knowledge that you have acquired through this time. So through this book, Pratik is actually showing a mirror of our own inner self to ourselves. And therefore, on behalf of everyone sitting here today who's really, really happy for your achievement, I am congratulating you for this very, very, very beautiful journey that you have. And I'm so happy to be sharing this with all of you. And it is said that life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. But sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. So Pratik thought he could, and he had ISKCON ka can. You know, he had the can of ISKCON who also helped him through this journey. And he found God's hand resting on his shoulders, holding his hands throughout this journey. And this book is we are witnessing the God's hands on Pratik's shoulders through this book. So congratulations once again for this very, very beautiful achievement of yours. And I as a sister am extremely proud of you. So to celebrate this, I would like to invite quite a few celebrities of Pratik's lives who have reviewed his book, who has gone through it. So they are going to give us a picture of what they read through the books and what they understood. And for that, I would first like to call हमारे देसाई कुटुंब के सबसे मोभी, हमारा वात्सल्य ना वडला समा, प्रतीक ना मोटा फई, प्रतीक के बड़ी बुआ, Charulata Madhusudan Gandhi, to come on stage. Charulata Madhusudan Gandhi at her age is an inspiration for youngsters like us. And she's an author of 2 books of her own poems, Kedi Tari Kandar and Maru Potiko Akash. She's a poet and she writes on every possible topic that you can think under the earth. An optimist for life. At her age, she is always wanting to learn new things. A forever learner, an Akashvani radio speaker, a writer for various magazines like Jan Kalyan, Akhand Anand, Chitralekha, Kapoor Darpan, Kapoor Mitra, and she's an enthusiast for life. So here I welcome Charulata Gandhi to talk about the book.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Eh? No. We have gathered to celebrate the release of Pratik Desai's book, 20 plus must know facts about Hinduism. So, brothers and sisters, you are all welcome to here to celebrate his book. Pratik is my nephew. He holds master degree in mechanical and aerospace engineering from Duke University, Florida. He was spiritually inclined from early age. He watched religious series like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Shiv Puran and Vishnu Puran, etc. He was strongly believe in God but didn't get the path. So he wants to seek the purpose of life, karma and absolute truth. While studying in Duke University, he was struggling with homesickness and stress. He came back. This failure of his life provoked to find the answers. In Florida, he was associated with ISKCON and became devotees. He was inspired by teachings of Bhagavatam Gita, the founder of Divine, Srila Prabhupada. Our scriptures are based on questions and answers, Guru and Shishya Parampara. He studied deeply Bhagavad Gita and introspect himself. He experienced God through reciprocation. This reciprocation to God gave deep faith in Krishna. This book satisfied his burning desire to help the people by sharing his experiences. In this book, the question which arise from the people, he has given the answers fully to satisfy their queries. Most of frequently intriguing and controversial asked by questions. All the scholars given their reviews in a profound way in this book. Pratik, our blessings are always with you, and Anuradha, she is your fully supporter, and your parents Bharat Desai and Priti, Dilip uncle and Varsha auntie, Bhai and Bhabhi, Raju and Amruta, and all Faiz and Fuaz. There are some questions I like to read. He has given the answers fully to understand the queries. Question number 6. How do we know bona fide Guru? Question number 7. Is it true Gurus enjoy comfortable and luxurious life donated by their followers? Question number 16. How can we be sure God exists? Question number 20. What is the evidence of Lord Chaitanya is Krishna? Question number 21. Is ISKCON a cult and brainwashing movement? Why do ISKCON devotees chant Mahamantra Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare? Question number 29. What does one can achieve by chanting it? He has given the answers fully to satisfy, and doubts are clear by the answers. This endeavor is completely in the spirit of service, and all the profit shall be donated to numerous welfare activities. And at last, he concludes, don't look for the fragrance. Don't look for the fragrance outside when musk is already inside. When musk is already inside. Thank you. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. This is my first attempt to speak in English. So whatever the mistake, you forgive me.
I think, Masi, that was excellent Ashirwad from from you. I request Anuradha to present a token of respect. Thank you. Our next invitee is Mr. Anirudh Sheth. Mr. Anirudh Sheth is a BA Electronics and an MBA from Symbiosis. He is a portfolio manager at Synchrony and has been on a long association with Pratik. So he'll be able to tell us more about Pratik and his book.
Haribol. So most of the people I know here are my relatives, my friends. I have been with them since a long time. So not much people are new here. So I started my journey with Pratik in 2010 when he came to my sister's place. He was introduced there, then he got married. So we were a part of ISKCON. So I was little bit like dumb slided and little bit low. I knew knowledge, but he knew how to apply it. So he used to tell me, you used to read the book like this, you read the book like that. You understand the concept, you apply it. And most of the times he was like very, very high in knowledge. He still is. And that's why the result is in front of you is this very high conceptual and simple to know, simple language English book. So when we got to know to each other, so he first told me like, Prabhu, we should distribute books. Like, not Prabhu, I'm his brother-in-law. So, Ani, we should distribute books because books are the basis. Books have lot of knowledge and books will give knowledge to others. So, I think he has, I know he has written many, question answers before also. He has lot of knowledge. He has his YouTube channel also. So, according to his reading, and he has told to us, many of his friends, this book is a great compilation of all basic 29 FAQs everybody should know. So, like I will tell you, I completed my MBA from Symbiosis in 2017, and I was like, there also I had a very chilled and comfortable life in corporate. Every alternate week, I had parties in Taj and some other big hotels, and like, okay, chal raha hai, cut raha hai. But always he used to call and remind me, Prabhu, there's a goal of life. We should understand and direct ourselves towards it. So it happens. Everybody has to go through some family responsibilities. Sabko kuch na kuch kaam hota hai, karna padta hai. It's a necessity of life. But if you don't understand your roots, where are you coming from, and if you don't give it to others, then obviously your life is little bit shaky. मतलब कुछ ज़्यादा use नहीं कर पाए, बस खाया कमाया दिया खत्म हो गया. So last year also it was the same time. Okay, the same time was very crucial for me because I was infected by the very deadliest phase of COVID, the COVID-19 virus, and I was in ICU. But obviously we had prayers, we had books, and lot of enthusiasm, which kept me pumped. Okay, nothing will happen. ये भी एक लाइफ का फेज है, चला जाएगा, and I have much more to do, much more to give to others. So this book is in fact a source of enthusiasm in the same way. So it is my appeal, and I want everybody of you to not take only one copy, but take 5 copies each, spread it to others, make a chain of more 5 copies each, spread it to others, okay, because people should know what is the fact of Hinduism, what is Sanatan Dharma, how we are so-called Hindus, but it is really Sanatan Dharma. Basically, it is given Hinduism here, but we are actually Sanatan Dharmis. So this book will clear every information starting from basic concepts, then about God, then further level more about the supreme personality of Godhead, who is Krishna, then one more level, how ISKCON is helping not only Indians, throughout the world. It's an international society for Krishna consciousness. So how ISKCON is helping throughout the world to know this knowledge about Sanatan Dharma, how to apply it in our life and go forward, to have love of Godhead and achieve the highest yoga. So people do ayogams, yogas, they make their lungs healthy, they make their body healthy. That is good for life. I also understood. Last year I was very fat, so so I also started doing all those things. But Bhakti Yoga, which is the highest epitome of yoga, this book reaches to that. Finally, when you start reading it, when you come to understanding that yes, Bhakti Yoga is the highest epitome of knowledge, you should do that, you should apply that in your life, then you will also feel motivated, and challenges will come on in life, but Krishna is the captain of our boat, so he will make us sail. So obviously, I think she has spoken a lot. So she took my words also. But yeah, this is what I wanted to speak about Pratik. A very good book, Pratik. I have not read it completely though, but yes, अभी मैं समझ में आ रहा है कि you have really 100 times much more depth than what I thought about you, about Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much for giving this book to others. And it is not my request, it is my appeal to all of you here. You should not take one book, take 5 books, distribute to others, continue the chain, so that people should know what Hinduism or what Sanatan Dharma is. They should apply in their life and they should be successful. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Anirudh. You actually said what my mom always says, ke gamta no kariye gulal. Gamtu male to ela gunje na bhariye, ane gamta no kariye gulal. So thank you for that. I request Praveen Bhai to give a token to Anirudh. We now move on to our next, my favorite speaker, Dr. Parthiv Sanghvi. He is a consultant general, gastrointestinal and laparoscopic surgeon in the city of Bombay.
Welcome, Parthiv.
He is a consultant at Nanavati Hospital and BSES Hospital in Andheri. He is also the former secretary of Indian Medical Association, Maharashtra State, and he is my better half. So that's why I said, Hari Bol. So I request him to say a few words on this joyous occasion.
First of all, I thank Pratik and the entire Desai family to give me this opportunity to come here today and speak a little bit about his book. I will try and say as much as possible because this book is definitely taking you to a different level. આપણા બધામાંથી હિન્દુ ધર્મ વિશે તો બોલવાવાળા ઘણા હોય, પણ જો સાચા અર્થે એને ફોલો કરવું હોય તો આ ચોપડી વાંચવી અનિવાર્ય છે. અને જ્યારે હું આ ચોપડી વાંચતો હતો તો મને એક ઘણી ઈચ્છા થઈ, રાધર તીવ્ર ઈચ્છા થઈ કે જો મને પ્રતિક સંધિ આપે તો આનું અનુકરણ, આ ચોપડીનું અનુકરણ હું ગુજરાતીમાં કરી દઉં કે જેથી ગુજરાતી સાહિત્યમાં પણ આ ચોપડી જે રીતે અંગ્રેજી સાહિત્યમાં મોટું નામ કરશે એ જ પ્રમાણે ગુજરાતી સાહિત્યમાં પણ કરશે. इथे बसलेले बरेच लोक मराठीत सुद्धा बोलताय म्हणून थोडंफार मी प्रयत्न करतोय मराठीत बोलायला. प्रतीक माझं मेवणा, सर्वात छोटा मेवणा, आणि मी त्याला साधारण आता 22-23 वर्षापासून ओळखतोय. जेव्हा कॉलेजमध्ये होता, इंजिनिअरिंग केलं आणि नंतर अमेरिकेला गेला. पण ज्या स्टेजमधून प्रतीक परत आला आणि त्या स्टेजमध्ये जे साथ दिलं आणि पूर्ण जर्नी त्याची पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएशनची जी होती त्याच्यात जर इस्कॉन मुवमेंट नाही जर त्याला भेटलं असतं तर आय डोंट थिंक प्रतीक वुड हॅव बीन व्हॉट ही इज अँड वेअर ही इज. ज्या हिशोबाने पुढचं आयुष्य त्यांनी काढलंय, अजून काढतोय, आणि ज्या डेप्थमध्ये ते गेलं आहे, यूट्यूब चॅनल करायची. इस्कॉनचे माझे वडील सुद्धा लाईफ मेंबर आहे म्हणून मी थोडंफार त्याच्यात बोलू शकतो की ह्या स्टेजवर ते, ह्या लहान वयात ह्या ज्या स्टेजवर ते आला आहे ते खरंच क्रेडिबल आहे. आणि ह्या एवढं लवकर ह्या स्टेजवर येऊ शकत नाही माणूस जर स्वतः म्हणजे त्याचं जे आत्मसमर्पण आहे टुवर्ड्स कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस, ते इट्स एब्सोल्युटली फॅन्टास्टिक. આટલા વખતથી આ ચોપડી જે મેં હમણાં વાંચવાનું ચાલુ કર્યું, મને પ્રતિકે લગભગ આઈ થિંક એકાદ મહિના પહેલાં મને આપી હતી. પણ જેમ જેમ વાંચતો ગયો અને જેમ જેમ એના ઉદાહરણ આવતા ગયા, ભગવદ્ ગીતાની સાથે લખતા લખતા રેફરન્સીસ આપવા, ચૈતન્ય મહાપ્રભુના જીવન વિશે રેફરન્સીસ આપવા અને ભાગવત વિશે સુદ્ધા રેફરન્સીસ આપતા સરળ ભાષામાં લખવું એ આ ઉંમરે શક્ય નથી. એટલે મને તો ઘણો જ એમાં મને અચરજ થઈ અને મને આશ્ચર્ય થયું કે આટલી નાની વયે કોઈ આટલું સરસ કઈ રીતે લખી શકે અને એટલું સરસ રીતે સમજવું, સમજાવવું કે આજે તમે તિલક શાની માટે કરો છો? તમે લોકોને દેખાડવા તિલક કરો છો? ના, ધર્મ પ્રત્યે તમારી જે જવાબદારી છે અને ભગવાન પ્રત્યે તમારી જે શ્રદ્ધા છે એનું આ એક માર્ગ છે કે હું તિલક કરું છું. એટલે એવી ઘણી બધી નાની નાની વસ્તુઓ એટલી જાણવામાં આવે અને સાથે આપણા જીવનમાં થયેલી બધી ભૂલો આપણને એક સાથે એક પછી એક દેખાતી આવે. એટલું સરસ લખ્યું છે. એટલે જ મને ઘણો ઈચ્છા છે કે આ પુસ્તકમાં દરેક જેમ જેમ ભાગવતમાં ઇસ્કોને ઘણી જ બધી લેંગ્વેજીસમાં એનું આપણે ટ્રાન્સલેશન કરેલું છે, ઇન્ક્લુડિંગ ફોરેન લેંગ્વેજીસ. એ જ રીતે આ ચોપડીનું પણ અનુવાદન થવું જ જોઈએ, દરેક લેંગ્વેજમાં થવું જોઈએ, જેથી કરીને આપણી આવનારી પેઢીને આ જ્ઞાન મળે અને કોઈને એ શરમ ન રહેવી જોઈએ આપણા દેશમાં કે હું એક હિન્દુ છું. માણસે ગર્વથી સાચા અર્થથી કહેવાની જરૂર છે કે હા હું હિન્દુ છું. 20 કરતાં વધારે પ્રશ્નોનો ઉકેલ આપતા સરળ ભાષામાં એક નાસ્તિકને આસ્તિક કઈ રીતે કરી શકાય. આજે મને પહેલાં જ જ્યારે ચોપડી વાંચવાનું શરૂ કર્યું ત્યારે મને થયું કે એક નાસ્તિકને આ ચોપડી આસ્તિક કરી શકશે કે નહીં, પણ હજી તો હું 3જા પાને ત્યાં पहुंचो तो ने त्या मारा बधा डाउट्स क्लियर થઈ ગયા. एवढं सुरेख वर्णन केलं आहे या मुलगाने की कोणीही ज्याला ईश्वरात अजिबात विश्वास नसेल त्या माणूस सुद्धा एकदा तर विचार करणार की ईश्वर खरंच आहे. मला तर वाटते आहे. तर ह्यापैकी आपला ह्या लहान वयाच्या भावानी जे सुंदर काम केलं आहे ते खरंच अर्थाने उल्लेखनीय आहे. आणि आय विल ऑलवेज प्रे ऑल द सक्सेस फॉर यू प्रतीक. નાનપણમાં અમર ચિત્રકથા વાંચવાની મને બહુ ટેવ હતી, એટલે આ ચોપડી વાંચતા મને એક ઉદાહરણ એ આવ્યું હતું. નારદ મુનિ જે પોતાને વિષ્ણુ ભગવાનના સૌથી મોટા ભક્ત માનતા હતા, એકવાર વિષ્ણુ ભગવાન પાસે જ્યારે જઈ અને કીધું કે ભગવાન હું તો તમારો સૌથી મોટો ભક્ત છું, તો એ મારી ઉપર તમારું ધ્યાન કેમ નથી? વિષ્ણુ ભગવાન ત્યારે કહે છે કે તું મારો સૌથી મોટો ભક્ત નથી. આ જો ધરતી ઉપર, અને ધરતી ઉપર આંગળી ચિંદાડીને એક નાનો ગૃહસ્થ આશ્રમમાં રહેનારો માણસને એની આખી કહાણી એને દેખાડી કે ગૃહસ્થાશ્રમમાં રહીને ભગવાનનું નામ સાચા અર્થે ભજી શકે છે. પોતાના જે જવાબદારીઓ છે એને પાર પાડતા ભગવાનનું નામ જે ભજી શકે છે તેવા આપણા પ્રતીક માટે આઈ રિયલી હેવ નો વર્ડ્સ. હેટ્સ ઓફ ટુ યુ પ્રતીક. થેન્ક યુ.
Thank you, Parthiv, for a very, very wonderful description of what you learned from this book. I request Dilip Mama to give him a token of his love. Yeah. So Parthiv was very sure that he is not going to just talk in English. He said, I will try and talk in Gujarati and Marathi. I now request Dr. Saurabh Mehta to come forward and give his few words about this book. He is a Chief Academic Officer and the Professor of EXTC at Vidya Alankar Institute of Technology, Mumbai. He holds a PhD from Inha University at South Korea, and he has been associated with Pratik for a very long time. So let's hear from him.
So Hare Krishna and very good evening to one and all. So thank you for giving me this opportunity and sharing my association with Pratik. I cannot say association, we are anyways cousin. We have played a lot right from our childhood. I have seen him growing from the budding cricketer. He was a leg spinner. I don't know how many of you are knowing, and he was actually doing good even at under 16 or that kind of like a level. From that he changed again path for IIT. Then again he went for the engineering. Then after the engineering he wanted to go abroad to do his MS, and I think at that point he started to see something different. I mean, we always look at the material world, but he started to look in a different way. It was a shock to everybody, especially to his parents, that what is going on. and why this particular kid is not listening to us. It's a very simple formula. Go there, complete your graduation, find a good job, and then live your life. I mean, and then that point onwards, something different started. At that point, I think I was also somewhere abroad, and then we started to talk about it. Even though I could not understand much, but it seems to me that he has realized something, and now he wanted to pursue that particular direction. And so in that way, I always encourage him that, okay, whatever is your passion, whatever is your thinking, you should go ahead with that. And at that point, maybe many of them even didn't like that why I am giving that particular advice. But to be honest, even it was a new thing for me. But to my surprise, that he continued with that particular passion. He wanted to know his sense. Then he wanted to know about the religion. And then I see the maturity in his understanding. So earlier he was just talking something from the recorded things and other things. But then I realized that now he has gone into its own study, now studying, and then slowly he become like a pracharya. He is giving many lectures actually in a spiritual thing and become like a guru. And today I'm very happy to see that he has actually turned into a published author. And it's a really, really big achievement at this age. And the subject that he chose, it's really wonderful. Because I know, I mean, we also study, study is my profession, so I have to study. And we also study lots of books. But when we study the book, it is from the logic point of view, it is from the scientific point of view, that, and we actually train this many years that this is how we have to study. But when we have to look at any spiritual study, that time one particular very important aspect is a Shraddha, which we all missed. But somehow he actually look at those things from the Shraddha, and then the everything, fall in line. So he started to read so many scriptures, and I'm sure that he also faced a big challenge because all our scriptures are written in Sanskrit, and I'm sure he has not studied the Sanskrit in school. So first and very important thing, that you have to study the Sanskrit, and then from the Sanskrit you have to interpret the things, and then you have to write something. And I think Bhaktivedanta Swami did a great service to, I think, entire human race by that authenticated Sanskrit translation into various languages. So first of all, he has written into, I guess maybe in English first, or Bengali, I don't know which particular language he has written first. So, and then onwards, I mean, so many people have started to translate. So to understand without having a knowledge of Sanskrit takes lots and lots of effort. And then going through those many various kind of sources, and then try to find logical answer. Because this young generations always look at the logic. They don't go for any kind of like our generation, whatever our parents used to tell us, we never question that. Why so? Why we have to go to mandir? Why we have to, do the tilak? Why we have to do this thing? We never bother to even ask that question. But I think our Sanatan Dharma Parampara is of question and answer. So even the Gita or the original thing that started, it is from the question answer. I think in no any religion, in an entire world, at least I have not heard about any religion which goes and gives the permission to ask the question to the God. So this is only possible in Hinduism. And looking at that parampara, that he tried to put forward his understanding about the religion. Obviously, the base is from the ISKCON. We can debate on that thing, but anyway. So from the ISKCON point of view, that he started to give this understanding in question answer form. So I think it's very fantastic. And the person, especially the young generation, when they want to start something, to know about our religion and then how great is our religion. So I think this is a best example. And I'm sure this is not the last book. This required multiple issues. And I already told him that now you have to continue, you have to write a part 2, part 3, part 4 likewise. And then also, as somebody says, mentioned that this need to be translated into Gujarati. or maybe any other like a regional language. This is really, really important. Then only we can reach to the mass. And I may also suggest that please do this book question answer thing even in your the YouTube channel, so that it can reach to many more people. And now coming back to the book, so I mean right from his beginning, I think I have read 2 or 3 maybe draft about this book, and every time he shows very enthusiasm to change those things, incorporate changes. In fact, when I was going through that manuscript, so I had many questions, so even he tried to answer to me that thing. Maybe for few questions still I'm not convinced, but it is good to see that somebody is taking effort and try to make all this formats, I mean books, I mean the written material in such a lucid language that it can attract to a young generation, and then they can easily follow that thing. So that's heads off to you, Pratik. I mean, it's a wonderful job. So thank you, and I'm expecting many more issues. I mean, so followed by this. Yeah. So Vad Vivad is also one of our parampara. So I think that will continue. So. And I think Bhaktivedanta Swami also agreed on that thing. So yeah, so it's a good. So with this, I just wanted to wish him all the best, and I recommend this particular book to each and everyone, that please read this book, and as sir suggested, that please give it to all more 5 people, and then it is like create a chain of this thing, and this will be make sure that this is going to the the where it needs to go. Thank you.
Haribol. I request to stay here. I request Deepak Mama, Deepak Bhai Gandhi. Nothing? Okay. So I request Preeti Mami to present a token of their love. Thank you so much. I now request Mrs. Meenal Sheth, a very senior person amongst us. She's a science graduate with honors and has worked in the income tax department for 39 years. She retired in 2006 as a gazetted officer and has received many accolades and awards during her tenure. I request Mrs. Meenal Sheth to come on stage to give her blessings to Pratik. I request Anirudh to join in too.
Hello. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to express my feelings about Pratik Desai. Before I think 10-15 days before only, I go through WhatsApps, read so many messages, but Facebook I never touch. My son told me that, do you know Pratik has written one? I said, Arey wah, kiti chhan gosht hai hi. And then he said, question and answers 20 and Hinduism, very interesting subject. And question and answer, the man can write the answers when he has a knowledge, and questions also when he has knowledge, then only या इच्छा असेल तर प्रश्न निर्माण होतात. लहान मुलं जसे क्युरियासिटी असतात, નાના બાળકો જેમ ક્વેશ્ચન પૂછે કે ભાઈ મને આ શું છે આ શું છે, ત્યારે જ આગળ વધીને એ લોકો આગળ ભણી શકે. તો મને બહુ મજા આવી વાતો સાંભળીને. જ્યારે when Pratik called me for giving me invitation, I said very nice. First of all, congratulations for writing this book. And then I said, okay, I will. Then Anu requested me to say something. I said, I have never gone through the subject. How can I speak? Then immediately I gathered that if I'll come to this program and some persons will talk, I will have some idea about it. So questions and answer. But then anyway, I prepared it and given it to him. Only one blessings I will give you. As your sister, she told, કે સમુદ્રાતને તેની મોતી કાઢલે. I don't know how it came to me and how it struck to my mind. I brought it's a blessing, not a gift. મોતિયાची માળ with Radha Krishna photos pendant. So that is Ashirwad from Radha Krishna, and the thing which you have done, મોતી કાઢલે સમુદ્ર, it's not a easy job. And then I congratulated Anuradha बिंग प्रत्येक यशस्वी पुरुषाच्या मागे स्त्री असते, पण त्याच वेळी मला असंही म्हणावं असं वाटतं की आईवडिलांचे संस्कार ते जास्त काम करतात. त्यामुळे मी या दोघांचेही अभिनंदन करते. सो नाईस टू मीट यू अँड थँक्यू फॉर गिव्हिंग मी दिस अपॉर्च्युनिटी.
Yeah, so it's me again. You know me. So I'll speak what she was given here. Haribol, my language of expression is Marathi. However, given fact that this is a wonderful 20+ must-know facts about Hinduism, this book is in English, and this is also the language that the audience here is likely to relate with. I have sought translation of my speech with an attempt to convey my thoughts and takeaways from the book. I begin here with a beautiful concluding note in book by Pratik. Don't look for fragrance outside when musk is already inside. Such a wonderful thought is in this one sentence. As Maushi of Praveen Sheth, which is my uncle here, I have seen his mother, my older sister, raise all the kids with strong value system while she was herself practiced chanting and was very God-loving person. I reminisce the old times when I used to see her chant and read religious books. Praveen and also Ashok and Amol have chosen their paths and share similarities and differences in their sadhana practice and the choice of service to the God. They have always made their mother and also me, their Maushi, very proud. But today, on behalf of my late sister and myself, I can equivocally say that Pratik, you have a special feature, a special feather in the cap of our pride. Your concluding sentence above also to me has a different meaning in this context, that we do not need to seek spiritual nectar outside since we all in the family are fortunate to have you as a son-in-law. So this is a great sentence, yes. As a personal level, whenever I have seen you address an audience, one thing I have noticed about you is your silent ways and assuring smile while you patiently explain to them your viewpoint. The thoughts that you have grown to nurture and have repeatedly explained in many different ways in walks and talks have all culminated in concise summary in this book. I like to have followed a question and answer format which makes it easy for all, a doubter, an aspirant, and a seeker to gain something from different sections of the book. My personal favorite sections from the book are doubts about God, doubts about Krishna, and conceptual principles. I enjoyed reading your answer to why did God create so many faiths and religions in spite of being common father to all. A very relatable example is also seen in case of parents and children. It is the same mother and father to different siblings, but based on the expectations and the nature of the child, two children of same family may have different understanding of their own parents, and the parents too may reciprocate differently based on the circumstances. However, as parents and children, one can be fallible, but one needs to know that Lord Krishna will never fail the devotee. On one of my desire, including me, had it to witness the glories of God and perhaps to see Lord Krishna in testing times in the life, or at least hear his message or answer to the situation. Your wonderful explanation around making oneself be on the service of the God will desire to see you rather than expecting to see God in something profound and worth trying to achieve by practice. In my personal experience, I have been influenced by the family members and friends and listened to few gurus. I internalized some learnings on my own levels. I am still learning, but the importance of singular guru was something I learned through the experience and have grown through it. This you have very well elaborated and the reference through the book, the famous Bhagavad Gita. One thing is that nowadays people may have divergent thought processes and may think they can become a devotee like Mirabai or like to experiment or connect directly with Krishna without following the bona fide scriptures which explain the importance of Guru. I would urge them that if has to be just a single takeaway that they have from this book, it would be love and serve to devotee of the Lord, so that they will get proper guidance and inspiration from higher forces to pick up the Guru, or rather the Guru will himself present before them based on the aptitude, undertakings and the progress they make on this path, and this they can be assured will remain with them forever, unlike the material gains which vanish after death. With this thought, I will stop here and reiterate once again that you truly have made us all proud. I pray to Lord Krishna to continue to shower his blessings and guide you to pen many such insightful books. Hare Krishna.
That's indeed a great Ashirwad from Nasi. अच्छा लग रहा है ना? Okay, now I invite Mr. We are going to have an audio recording because from all over people want to give their blessings to Pratik. So we have an audio recording of Mr. Rishikesh Mafatlal, the chairman of Arvind Mafatlal Group of Companies, who would give his Ashirvachan to Pratik.
Questions and misconceptions in the minds of people about religion, either based on ignorance or biases, are often there. And often these questions remain unanswered, but they remain in our minds and start creating doubts. Premras Prabhu has the amazing knack of identifying those very important questions and bringing them up in the open. So then there's an opportunity to resolve them with knowledge, thoughtfulness, objectivity, based on scriptural evidence. This is an excellent method of presenting scriptures and revealing the perfection of our Shastras by destroying the myths and wrong notions in the minds of people. This is a great service in propagating real knowledge through such innovative and contemporary methods of frequently asked questions. It clears cobwebs of the mind, brings clarity, and thus presents a priceless opportunity for genuine faith to blossom and grow. This is indeed the need of the hour. I am sure this effort will be a great success. I pray sincerely that this book reaches as many hands as is possible, and that many people will really see the benefit of this wonderful question answer session. Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Rishikesh Mafatlal for his blessings. Now I request Pratik's cousin, Mr. Pinal Sanghvi. He is a General Manager of Sales and Marketing at Global Power Source Group of Companies, a pioneer in launching of SMF VRLA batteries in India, and an MBA in Marketing. I invite you.
Thanks, Jagu. Hare Krishna. I would like to hear from Pratik. Hare Krishna. This is the vibration that we get from Pratik himself. When we say Hare Krishna, इतना impact नहीं पड़ता है. लेकिन जब भी प्रतीक बोलता है Hare Krishna, तो मेरे रोम रोम भी व्याकुल हो जाते हैं प्रतीक. And thanks to you प्रतीक, कि इतने सालों से, in fact those of you who don't know कि प्रतीक का ये जो spiritual path है, शायद कहीं ना कहीं मेरे तार उसके साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, right प्रतीक? या जय यमुना मैया. It is in 2006 मैं प्रतीक और मेरा कजिन विनीत हम तीनों व्रज यात्रा पर गए थे. तभी प्रतीक एकदम नोवाइस था इस्कॉन या कृष्ण भगवान के बारे में. लेकिन ऐसा हुआ कि तभी मेरी भक्ति ज्यादा थी प्रतीक से ज्यादा. और आई एम ग्लैड कि आज प्रतीक ने मुझे ओवरटेक कर लिया. और ओवरटेक ऐसा है कि तभी वो नर्सरी में था, आज वो PhD बन गया है एक्चुअली. एंड एज जागू सेड स्टार्टिंग में कि इट इज एन इवोल्यूशन, ओके, फ्रॉम प्रतीक देसाई टू प्रेम रास दास. और वही नहीं, SRK का भी इवोल्यूशन हुआ है. पहले वो शाहरुख खान बोलता था SRK को, अभी श्री कृष्णा बोलता है. या एंड apart from this book launch today, it is more than the book launch, it is a celebration of Pratik's life actually. Like everyone said कि उसने क्या क्या दुख झेले हैं, struggles किए हैं life में, and how he evolved as a personality over so many years basically. So again Pratik, next मेरी व्रज यात्रा पर I am very sure you would be my guide actually, okay? Yeah, spiritual guide, and help me attain the ultimate bliss of Lord Krishna. Again, what makes Pratik unique in his quest for Lord Krishna's bhakti is total devotion actually. तो जैसे आपन ने बोला कि देर आर डेमी गॉड्स ऑल्सो, कुछ महाराज होते हैं जो हमें कुछ सिखाने का ट्राई करते हैं, लेकिन प्रतीक की जो निष्ठा भावना है, श्रद्धा है श्री कृष्णा के प्रति, इट इज रियली कमेंडेबल एंड थैंक्स प्रतीक फॉर यू. प्रतीक जहां पर भी रहता है, कोई भी एनवायरमेंट में एक पॉजिटिविटी आ जाती है बेसिकली. और वही नहीं, अगर हमारा एंथुजियाज्म कम भी रहता है तो वही है जो एंथुजियाज्म बढ़ाता है ग्रुप में. So thanks Pratik for all this positivity that you have been giving us. And secondly, मैं और एक चीज प्रतीक की सराहना करना चाहूंगा कि प्रतीक कोई भी गिफ्टिंग करता है तभी श्री कृष्णा की बुक्स करता है. So this is a very nice gesture actually. हमें लगता रहेगा कि ये क्या है बुक, but through this he wants to spread the Krishna consciousness, the real meaning of Krishna, as in he is a real follower of Lord Krishna. एंड सेकेंडली, आज ये भक्ति वेदांता हॉल में जितने भी स्पीकर्स हैं, मुझे तो पर्सनली ऐसा लग रहा है कि मैं बहुत ही ग्रीन ऑन हूँ एक्चुअली ये सब एक्सपर्ट स्पीकर्स के सामने. सो थैंक्स टू ऑल ऑफ यू कि मुझे उल्टा कृष्ण भक्ति के बारे में और जानने को मिला है. सो आई ग्लांस थ्रू द बुक एंड आई फाइंड 5 टॉपिक्स टू बी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग पर्सनली फॉर मी. One is karma and phala basically. What Pratik has mentioned in one of his topics. If I have never harmed anyone, then why do I suffer basically? So ये question तो I think almost every human being को आते हैं, okay? जिसमें कर्म और फल, कर्म करते जा, फल की चिंता मत कर. लेकिन प्रतीक ने एक बात बहुत अच्छी कही है कि कर्म करते जा, फल की चिंता मत कर, लेकिन फल मिलने पर वो भगवान को अर्पित करना चाहिए. ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है. Which means sharing the phal with Bhagwan is very important. Second, is ISKCON a cult and a brainwashing movement basically? सच बोलूं तो जब भी मैंने ये क्वेश्चन पढ़ा तभी मुझे बहुत हंसी आ रही थी एक्चुअली, मेनली बिकॉज ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट पीपल हु आर इग्नोरेंट अबाउट ISKCON बेसिकली, तो उनको मालूम ही नहीं है कि ISKCON इज सच अ ग्रेट स्पिरिचुअल इंस्टीट्यूशन जो कितना अच्छा नॉलेज फैलाता है लोगों में. एंड स्पेशली ड्यूरिंग द यूक्रेन वॉर, ऑल ऑफ अस हैव बीन सीइंग कि यूक्रेन के ही कितने सारे ISKCON भक्त हैं जो अपने मातृभूमि के लिए लड़ रहे हैं. इनफैक्ट नॉट ओनली लड़ रहे हैं, इनफैक्ट आसरा दे रहे हैं लोगों को ड्यूरिंग द वॉर. सो दैट वाज अ वेरी गुड थिंग एंड इनफैक्ट दिस इज वन ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट वी शुड बी स्प्रेडिंग अबाउट ISKCON टू द वर्ल्ड. देन कम्स द कृष्ण महामंत्र. It gives a lot of positive vibes actually. Pratik has very nicely mentioned in that. And this is a very positive, contagious thing that, you know, we all should be doing regarding the Maha Mantra. Then the Krishna's Leelas that he has mentioned in Krishna, an immortal God basically. The fruit vendor episode. And again, I think Krishna Sudama also you have mentioned. So it really gives us a feeling as if हम खुद ब्रज भूमि में बैठे हुए हैं इसके लिए. और खास करके जब भी वो रासलीला के बारे में बताता है तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैं प्रतीक के साथ बंसीवट अभी विजिट करूं इसके लिए. एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, व्हाट आई फाउंड गुड, ओके, अ न्यू थिंग फॉर मी, द 5th डायमेंशंस टू लाइफ गोल, धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष. उसके अलावा उसने प्रेम की परिभाषा बताई है बेसिकली. सो लेट्स होप टू अटेन दिस अल्टीमेट ब्लिस ऑफ प्रेम वन डे बेसिकली. एंड एज आई कंक्लूड माई स्पीच, once again hearty congratulations to you Pratik on this wonderful book, and let's hope that you climb the spiritual pedestal in life, and all the best for future. Hare Krishna.
Let's book ticket to Vrindavan tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you Jagruti.
Hare Krishna. I think Pinal has charged the whole atmosphere very well. Yes, yes, absolutely. He has charged Pratik also. Kal book bhi ho jayegi tickets.
Whenever I am with Pratik, I am full of humor actually. That's how it is.
No, thank you so much. I request Deepak Mama to please come and felicitate Pinal for as a token of our love. Thank you. We have one more audio recording from a renowned author, Shubh Vilas Das, a motivational and TEDx speaker, a leadership professor and counselor. So I request Pratik to share the audio blessings with all of us today.
Hare Krishna. I would like to congratulate Pratik for his fantastic book on the FAQs on Hinduism, and the way he has brought out the subtle and the deeper imports of the various frequently asked questions on Hinduism, Vaishnavism, and the culture of the Vedic tradition is commendable. And I really congratulate Pratik for doing this very important monumental task. And I'm sure this book will be a great source of inspiration for hundreds and thousands of people across the world, and it will help clarify such important questions that people have always been grappling with. And more importantly, these questions have been answered very authoritatively and in a very succinct manner. I would like to offer my heartiest congratulations to Pratik and for this monumental task. And I'm sure this book will help so many others. Thank you very much, and I'm very happy to be a part of this launch event, virtually at least, and I'm hoping that each and every one of you who will be reading the book will benefit from it and learn a lot from it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we see that there are blessings coming from everywhere for Pratik, and that is a very, very immense source of joy for us as a family to see that. I now invite Prabhuji Dr. Mukund Shanbag, an endodontist by profession, an MDS, a specialist in root canal treatment, probably trying to now get to the roots of what religion is all about and trying to seek those roots and try to basically spread those roots in our minds. A gold medalist from the University of Mumbai has found a gold in Krishna. 32 years of experience and HOD at the Bhakti Vedant Hospital, and he is also a counselor for ISKCON Chopati congregation members along with his wife. So I now invite Dr. Mukund Shanbag to give his blessings on this very, very joyous occasion.
Hare Krishna. When Pratik asked me whether I can speak some few words on today's occasion, I was thinking that Pratik is a very smart person. The best way for someone to read is when you ask someone to speak about it. And that's when I started reading your book, Pratik. And I just started reading just 3 days back. But when I started reading the book, I realized that you had put in a lot of effort in your book. It's not 1 or 2 days, it's years and years of effort that you have, Pratik has been a very wonderful preacher. He has many followers. He has inspired so many in their lives to take shelter of Krishna. And, because of his interaction with so many people, he might have, had some questions asked to him, some challenging ones probably. That made him go deeper to contemplate on those questions. And that came out in the form of this wonderful book. So many questions have been answered, the frequently asked questions. And when I went through this book, I realized that, all the answers which he has been given in the book are very authentic ones, based on very solid foundation. He has been an ardent follower of our Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of this ISKCON society. So whenever he has answered all these questions, it is all based on those deep foundations and teachings of Srila Prabhupada, and in a way that's very simple for anyone to understand. Not very complex English language, but simple language where anyone can pick up the book of any age and then can read this book. So I definitely feel that this book will really bring in hope and light to each and everyone whoever reads this book. And I'm sure that this book in the future will clear doubts of so many people. And these are the doubts which are naturally there. Like when I was going through those questions, I was just thinking, oh no, maybe Pratik has not addressed this particular question, but then it was there. And the next question was there. Next question was there. Miss, I was thinking something and the next question was already there, which has been answered. So I'm sure definitely whoever takes this book and reads will definitely have their doubts cleared. And I am hopeful that this book will ultimately reach lots and lots of people. It's just today we are only few hundreds, but maybe in the next 5 years, maybe few lakhs of people will read this book and get all their basic doubts cleared. So thank you, Pratik, for everything and all the best. As someone said, I don't know, it should be translated in Gujarati, but I feel that it should be translated in many more languages. Why Gujarati only? Why not in Malayalam? Why not in Tamil? Why not in Punjabi? Maybe many may be inspired to do that also. When they read, they will feel inspired to translate. Definitely. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Dr. Shanbag. I request Pratik to present his memento of love. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Dr. Shanbag. I now invite Mrs. Pavitra Shanbag, an MA in Clinical Psychology and RE-CBT therapist, a marriage counselor who conducts workshops on emotional well-being. Who better than her to talk about this book in current times, which can be turbulent? So invite Radharani, Mrs. Pavitra Shanbag.
Thank you. It was very wonderful hearing from all of you about Pratik. And Pratik and his wife are very close friends of ours. And they are always a source of joy and inspiration and bubbling with enthusiasm always. He's like a, they're always like this, wanting to do something. So I remember I came to this temple 30 years ago. And I attended a Bhagavad Gita course over here called Journey of Self-Discovery. And the topics were, does God exist? Does life after death exist? About reincarnation, you are what you eat. Then laws of karma, that was very attractive. Why do bad things happen to good people? And our scriptures, the word of God and such topics. And those are the topics that he has taken in his book too. Because when you read these, it awakens something within you. And you cannot remain the same after reading this book. Very wonderfully explained, such clarity of thought, so much scriptural reference and statistics, information, verses, so much knowledge is given in such a simple language. The flow of thought is also very, very beautiful. When I took the book to read, I could not keep it down. It was really very wonderful. And one may say, okay, this is information, this is knowledge, so many books are being printed and distributed. So what is different about this book? So when I read about the author page, and of course heard from many of you today, that he went through some emotional turmoil when he was in the US. And then when he came to ISKCON and he read the Bhagavad Gita, he could relate. He could relate with Arjuna's turmoil. And he applied the same knowledge that had been given to Arjuna in his own life. And he found that his grief, his confusion, whatever disturbance was there, was gone. Not only the problem was solved, but he found a very wonderful opportunity to practice spirituality. That is the difference between knowledge and realization. So what Pratik has written in this book is not just some information he has read from the net, he has read from hundreds of books or heard in lectures. He has actually applied it in his own life. He has realized it. So now what is coming touches the heart. Because it's not just knowledge, it's realization. So from what I read from his introduction and the preface and all that, I understand what must be I am guessing, what must be the thoughts or what must be his vision when he wrote this book. So one is thinking that I have benefited so much by being in touch with the scriptures, by chanting the holy names, by worshipping the Supreme Lord. So any one of us, like any of you, when you eat a very nice sweet, or maybe you taste a very new item, you want to give it and share it with people you love. ये बहुत अच्छा है, आप भी टेस्ट करके देखो. That's a natural tendency. So I have really benefited from this. Why don't you also taste? थोड़ा तो चख के देखो. That's one thing. Second thing is his concern that there are so many people in our country who are Hindus technically, but either they have lack of knowledge, or there is misunderstanding, or there's total disinterest or disconnection from their roots. And understanding that when these people get connected to their roots, then they will understand what is real happiness. So we all enjoy. We go for a movie, come back. We go to a hotel and come back. But to become permanently happy, when does that come? When you connect with your own soul, when you connect with the Lord, the Paramatma in your heart. And that is what he wants to share with everyone. And he has found a very wonderful method of doing it. Nobody will want to read books. Nowadays, who read books? We get so many WhatsApp messages, with these comic videos, like a child asking the father that, how do I turn the page here? Where is the, what is that, mouse? Because they don't know what books are. After some years, books will become extinct. Our government is protecting tigers, na? Nothing is being done about the books, right? So, but when books are written in this way, then everyone will want to read them because it's made so interesting in the form of question answers. And last but not the least, it is said that a disciple must imbibe the mood and the interests of the spiritual master. And our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he considered the books to be so important. He said that these books will be the law books for the next 10,000 years. He would rest only for 2 hours at night, 10 to 12, and then he would write books. At the age of 70, between 70 to 80, he would write at night. Why? Because he considered them to be so important. So Pratik has, from the material point of view, from the spiritual point of view, from the intellectual point of view, and from the role of being a sincere disciple, he has presented this book as an offering to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and we are very grateful to have such a wonderful personality in our midst, and congratulations. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I request Mrs. Sunita Ben Sheth to come and present our memento of love to Mrs. Shanbag. Thank you so much for your blessings, ma'am. I now invite Rahul, because on Mama's demand, I am calling him. He wants him to speak a few words on this extremely beautiful occasion. And I think this is something very beautiful, that it's like we are all a family and we are so proud of Pratik today that we all want to be a part of this very, very wonderful celebration of your life. And I'm sure this is the first and there will be many more to come. So I invite Rahul.
I've been told to keep my address short for the many more to come issues which are going to come out of Pratik's pen. I am very grateful to be here. Actually, it's so beautiful, this whole hall. It is such a pious atmosphere, Pratik. Thank you for getting us here. And there is a lot of background, Each of us is carrying a lineage, and a lot of our forefathers are standing behind us. That tradition I can see here. My mama, that is Pratik's dad, and his mama and their sons are here. They all, in a way, followed. All my moms and masis went to Pandurang Shastri Athavale's, tradition, and they were brought up with those sanskars, right? And that is one stream that I see here, which is being carried forward. That baton has been given to Pratik. There is this other tradition of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, in whose humble and holy surroundings we are sitting here. And all that tradition is also sitting behind us and, behind this beauty of this gathering. And of course, the physical family of Pratik, and I'm reminded of my Nana, that's Pratik's grandfather, and his good deeds that he would go and give a meal to 5 people before eating himself. All of that Gyan, Karma, Bhakti is coming together, and as a sort of a, Varso apne kahiye, is being passed on by Pratik, and he is handling it with so much of grace and passing it on to all of us as a gift. What he is handing over to us, જે આપણને આપી રહ્યો છે, એના સાધનાનું એક ફળ છે. It's the fruit of his penance, and it may become a seed for many of us who are starting our journeys. So may this tradition continue and this lineage continue. When we were traveling, हम लोग कार में यहाँ આવતા था, so we were just discussing 3 generations in one car, and my son was saying, why should I read this book? And he opened the book, and he was asking us, that I don't agree with what has been said. And we had a long discussion from Ghatkopar to, South Bombay. And I would say that whether he agrees or not is not the point. But a conversation shuru hua. That is the point of this book. That people talk and make this, the middle, bring this topic in the middle of family conversations, which does not happen. We talk about TV serials, we talk about internet, we talk about current affairs, and this side of the government or that side of the government. But which side of the heart, which side of our tradition, which side of our religion, that we don't talk about. So thank you, Pratik, for bringing this to the center of the table. And final thing I want to say is, Pinal spoke about, these ashrams, right? That there is Brahmacharya ashram, Grahastha ashram. So Pratik is kind of spiritualized, like what was supposed to happen much later. Vanaprastha and Sannyas, he has kind of brought it back to his, in his Grahastha ashram day. And Anuradha is such a beautiful sathi in that journey. So thank you so much for this, showing us the light. And even this can happen in this day and age, right? We all know how Pratik was. He was dancing to Shah Rukh Khan's tunes just 10, 12, 15 years ago. But here he is, right, doing 16 rounds. 16 rounds of ISKCON Maha Mantra every single day. And, it takes 2.5 hours to do that every single day. Him and Anuradha doing this, from her side, the family doing it. All of this is a blessing. All of it. They are doing it for all of us, for the things we are not doing. So it's beauty. And I have seen people spoke of Pratik's life. We are a witness. It is. It tells us that failure is not bad. अगर like that Surf Excel ad says, अगर दाग से प्यार बढ़ता है तो दाग अच्छे है. Similarly, if failure brings us to this point and this turning point, then even that failure is worth celebration. And other thing is that how many of us know कि हमको life में क्या करना है? So very few of us ask that question. And when you truly ask that question, and someone like Pratik truly does and finds an answer, we should celebrate that. Because we are all in our journeys. We don't know that yet. And if for someone that knows that, it is like a bow down. And thank you for showing the way again. And thank you for the blessing of this book. It's a beautiful book written in this question answer tradition. We may agree or we may not agree, but that is not the point. It carries on this tradition of conversation. And God only knows where it will land you. We don't know. So for that, we don't know. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. I request Anuradha to present with you with a moment of love. Thank you so much. And yes, Anuradha is actually the silent partner in Pratik's life, and we are really, really grateful to God to have you and Pratik in our lives. So thank you so much for being a spiritual partner. There are very few people who can get a partner who would be with them for every possible aspect of life. So I think that is the beauty, and she's a gift to Pratik from ISKCON. So that's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Anuradha. And now as we close in today's beautiful celebration of this wonderful book of 20 plus must-know facts about Hinduism, I would like to bring in the whole family together to give their vote of thanks to all of us who are here And I would also like to give a special mention to Mehul, that is Dilip Mama and Varsha Mami's son, who has beautifully designed this cover page. Sitting all the way in USA, a graphic designer by profession. So you can see the involvement of the entire family, and that is indeed a very, very proud moment. Yeah, even Amruta has been one of the reviewers of the book. I have gone through all of it, and you can see that the involvement of the entire family. Raju must be sitting in Canada with his Ram Bharose chant, and definitely wanting to be a part of this. Rima also must be definitely wanting to be a part of this entire occasion, and they are surely with us today in love and in spirit. So it is said that कांटों को गुलाब बनाने का शुक्रिया, कांटों को गुलाब बनाने का शुक्रिया, ज़मीन को आसमान बनाने का शुक्रिया। हम खुश हैं कि आप सब अपना कीमती समय लेकर यहाँ आज हमारे पास आए, इस महफिल को, इस सेलिब्रेशन को लाजवाब बनाने का शुक्रिया। So thank you each and every one of you for being a part of this. And to say this in their words themselves, I would like to invite Bharat Desai and Preeti Desai, parents, proud parents of Pratik and Pratik himself.
Thank you so much for welcoming everybody to grace this occasion of Pratik book, and we're proud of him being a parents. So let my wife speak.
I don't have any words, so I have heard so many things about Pratik. So I can ગુજરાતીમાં કહેવાય છે ને વરને કોણ વખાણે વરની માં. But I don't speak anything about Pratik. Every speaker has speak the same thing, and I like very much. I thanks everybody who speaks about him, and I very much proud for that. In our 70 years of life, we enjoy, celebrate every occasion we celebrate, like marriages, birthday, housewarming, etc., etc. But today's occasion is totally different. This occasion may not come in everyone's life. So we are lucky, and I thankful to Lord Krishna for giving such an opportunity, auspicious celebration. These are the proud and memorable moments for us. Books are always Saswat and Sanatan. Books are always Saswat and Sanatan. They give us true guidance. They give us true guidance for our life. They are the best friends. They are the best friends. Bhagavad Gita is the mainstream of books. Bhagavad and Gita are the mainstream of the books. And that inspire Pratik. To make this book 20 plus must know facts about Hinduism. With his soul words collection, his inner feelings. And this book is treasure for him. With his soul words collection, his inner feelings. So this book is treasure for him. Since last 2 years, he works very hard to bring fruitful results. We have his book. We have his book comes out to be the book. It's come out to be a true book. Every verse written with his spiritual feelings. We proudly say, તેના પુરુષાર્થનું પસીનામાં રૂપાંતર થયું છે. His all efforts become fragrance, and this fragrance may spread to every reader, which we surely help. Everyone who reads the book get fragrance of Hinduism, and that is the one streams of the book. ગુજરાતીમાં કહેવત છે, વરને કોણ વખાણે વરની માં. I don't say more. As he is already blessed by Lord Krishna, let's we all bless him with his future life prosperous and perspective. Now let's start and understand and enjoy the true Hinduism with the eyes of the Pratik. Now let's start and unveil and understand and enjoy the true Hinduism with eyes and vision of Pratik. एक कहावत है, एक अच्छी किताब कितनी भी पुरानी क्यों ना हो, एक अच्छी किताब कितनी भी पुरानी क्यों ना हो, उसके शब्द नहीं बदलते, अच्छे रिश्ते की भी यही खासियत है, So very much proud for this moment, and I always remember in my life with that. So I miss my son, this Raju, Amruta, Mehul, Rima. So in absence of this we have done, but we are sorry we will all miss you. Thank you.
Thank you to everybody for your presence. Thank you.
કહેવાય છે ને, સકળ લોકમાં સૌને વંદે, નિંદા ન કરે કેની રે, વાછ કાછ મન નિશ્ચળ રાખે, ધન ધન જનની તેની રે. So I'm sure this is a very proud moment for Preeti Mami and Bharat Mama, and final words would be given by our author himself, Pratik Desai. Please say your final words.
Hare Krishna. So simply overwhelmed with a lot of emotions pouring in from all the relatives, friends, and so many guests. Can I have another round of guest speakers? I'm just kidding. I am completely humbled by the experience because I don't deserve that kind of praise. Actually, my wife and my parents, they know much better how I am, and they have tolerated me over the years. So I'm extremely grateful to them. But obviously, I would like to conclude with some vote of thanks, especially for my gurus who have taught me a lot of things, starting with Srila Prabhupada and their disciples, and a lot of other devotee friends also. And obviously my parents, my Dada Dadi. I did not have much interaction with my grandfather. I was very close to grandmother. And one thing that I appreciate a lot about her is her extreme tolerance and humility that I've learned. Because I used to argue with her, I used to fight with her also many times. And over the period of time, I do realize that I committed a lot of mistakes. As an elderly person, she actually commanded a lot of respect from me. But sometimes I actually offended her also. But I can easily understand, in spite of being such an elderly person, how values were preserved in the earlier days. With generation passing down, the values are going away. So that's how we are becoming more and more intolerant with time. But those values are preserved, and I can see it is also passed down to my father and mother, and who have supported me at every stage of life, and also tolerated me over the years. So I'm extremely grateful to you, both of you. And obviously, people ask me that how many parents you have, and that's a ridiculous question, because we have only one parents. But I would say that I have two parents, because my uncle, auntie also are like my parents. And they have also nurtured, nourished me, and given me a lot of love and help at every stage of life. That's why in the book, if you see, I have not specifically mentioned my parents' name. I have mentioned my family. I thank my family, So my family also includes obviously my brother, my sister-in-law, and my wife's sister-in-law also. If she was here, then obviously it would have been a completely different experience, because she's always enthusiastic about whatever I do. So I'm very grateful to her also. And the entire in-laws, my parents, father-in-law, mother-in-law, and my cousins from in-laws side. Then obviously my brother, sister-in-law, Dhruv, Arya, their kids. So they have brought so much joy to our family. And obviously we have Mehul, Rima also. We are missing them a lot. And Mehul has done a lot of effort on this book. You can see the outcome of that. Beautiful cover design Mehul has done for the book. So I'm missing them a lot. Actually, I somehow wanted to make this event happen 1 month before, because they were present. All of them were present here. I wanted to make it happen that time, but somehow I could not do it, because what happened is that the book had undergone a lot of proofreading. So it got delayed. And because they all came, That's why also it got delayed because I could not get any time to do anything else. So I was just like behind them all the time. I mean, I have mentioned, all the people in my life because I feel that I don't want to miss out any single person here. And obviously, I would like to thank Jaguben, the most talented, dynamic, enthusiastic, energetic woman we have in our family. So, I have learned many things from all of you, so many things. It's not that I have done something wonderful or out of the box. As Rahul Bhai rightly said, he was actually sharing about the legacy because we are different people who are sitting here. They are coming from different legacy and they have a lineage. So the energy and the thought process is actually transmitted. And that's how the smart thing I've done is like I've caught hold of all these different frequencies in one place. And I'm trying to share it with others. So, yeah, I mean, I'm totally blessed with a wonderful family like this. I would like to express that you are all my life and soul. Although I have chosen a path which many people may not take it up. But obviously, my love for you has not changed for a single moment or a period of time. It has always been the same. I would also like to thank all the guest speakers for their invaluable time contribution. It is simply overwhelming for me to digest all these wonderful reviews by all of you. And I would like to thank everyone who helped with this project. There is also Rajiv ji here sitting, and his contribution is also great, right from beginning to end, from editing to proofreading to publishing the book. For each and everything, Rajiv ji has contributed a lot. So special debt to Rajiv Prabhu and his family also. His daughter also she was in London. She's still in London, right? Yeah, so sitting right there, she was actually reading the book and she gave a lot of feedback about the editing. So I really want to thank them. And obviously many other people who are not present here, because many of my friends, they are in the US, some of them are in UK and some other places. So I'm very grateful to them. And obviously finally to each and every one of you, because you have taken your valuable time and you have traveled all the way from Andheri, Malad, Borivali, Thane and come to this place. And yeah, again, referring to Rahul Bhai's comment about, this is a very auspicious setting. And all of you have come together. That itself is a great blessing for all of us. So thank you so much. And yeah, my humble request, not just 5 copies, but hundreds and hundreds of copies. Kindly distribute. Anyways, I'm just joking. But yeah, if you are inspired, you can definitely distribute to your friends, families, so that everyone can understand the true meaning of Sanatan Dharma. At least we become aware what is Vedic culture, what is Sanatan Dharma. Okay, because we are not, many of us, we don't even know about who is God. We are all pious people, we are worshipping God by the blessings of our ancestors. It's been a long time, we have been worshipping God for such a long time, and we don't know who is God. If someone is asking you this question that, who is God? Then what is your answer? Oh, some power, some source, some this, some that. No, we have to be specific about that, because other religions, they are very, pakka in their philosophy, in their thought process. So we have to make sure that, and in fact, if you see the history, most people, they were converted to other religions just because they were very weak in their understanding of our religion. So we have to become very strong, thorough, and this is not something which is coming from blind faith. It is extremely scientific, reasonable, and it is live. It is, it's a question of realization. It's not something which is, something which is forced upon you, or something that you have to believe because you are hearing from your ancestors, or something that gives you pleasure or temporary happiness just because it will help you in your, moral values and boost your moral values, so that in future, if you come across challenges and circumstances in life, you will be able to handle it. No, it's not. This is not just a, it's just a part of the entire thing. But if you go through the entire Vedic culture, you will understand that it is extremely deep. And you may also wonder that how people in the previous, thousands of years ago, when we had no television, we had no movies, how they used to actually enjoy. And that enjoyment came from within. So it basically came from reading all the scriptures and sharing with each other this knowledge. Okay. So the scripture is extremely deep. Everyone wants to enjoy in this material world. There is no doubt about it. Even I want to enjoy. I think the reason why I have took this path of bhakti is because I would like to enjoy, but I would like to gain permanent happiness, not just temporary. Because we all know that we are not going to stay here for a long time. So we have to find out the permanent eternal happiness, and for that we have to sacrifice some amount of time and some amount of our energy in order to gain that. So it's a humble request, if you can just skim and go through the book at least once, and if you are inspired, you can also pass it on to others. So thank you so much, each and every one of you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you everyone once again for being a part of this very wonderful celebration of this wonderful book, 20 plus must know facts about Hinduism. And dinner is ready for all of us, so please let's go ahead and have some prasad. After 5 minutes, after Dilip Mama gives a nod to us, he's our super chef. So thank you again once everybody. If anyone wants to talk about it while we are waiting for dinner, they're most welcome to come in. अच्छा, मैं आपको कुछ पूछती हूँ, आपको कैसा लगता है, आपके दामाद के बारे में कुछ बताइए.
Actually, Pratik is enthusiasm for us, our family. Actually, मैं भक्ति में था, हम लोग हमारा पूरा फैमिली भक्ति में था, लेकिन जब प्रतीक हमारे फैमिली इन्वॉल्व हुआ, उससे हमको बहुत एंथुसियाज्म मिला और बहुत आगे जाने के लिए चांस मिला उसके.
Wow, that's a very, very proud comment. I would also ask a similar question to Auntie Sunita ji.
प्रतीक मेरा दामाद है, ये मैं मेरा सौभाग्य समझती हूँ.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Everybody can Jayu Mama by public demand.
પ્રતીક આજે તે એક નવો રસ્તો બતાવ્યો છે. આજના ભૌતિક વિશ્વની અંદર તે એક નવો ચીલો ચાલ્યો છે. આજે જ્યારે લોકોને પોતાને ફક્ત મટીરિયાલિસ્ટિક લાઈફ જોઈએ છે, ત્યારે એની અંદર એક પરમનન્ટ હેપીનેસ લાવવાનો એક પ્રયત્ન તે જે કર્યો છે એ સરાહનીય છે. હું માનું છું કે તે માટે તે ઘણી જ કોશિશ કરી હશે. આ રસ્તા પર ચાલવું ઘણું જ કઠણ છે. કૃતિ ભક્તિ કરવી, ફક્ત ભક્તિ કરવી આપણે ઘણી ડિફિકલ્ટ છે, પણ તે કર્યું એ માટે કોંગ્રેચ્યુલેશન્સ, અને આવું જ આગળ ને આગળ વધતો રહે.
થેન્ક યુ જયુ મામા, આશીર્વાદ માટે. અમને જેઠા મામાની યાદ આવી ગઈ. Okay, so everybody can go ahead and have dinner. Thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful celebration. Hari Om. For the books, you can come on this counter. Whoever wishes to take these books can come on this counter. So Anirudh is in charge of this counter. Please come here and you can have these books for yourself and dive deep into the knowledge. Yeah.